Enigma Hood. There's this actor. His name is Mark Wahlberg. And I'm assuming a lot of people don't know who the fuck this guy is because he's not a very good actor. He's not a very popular actor. The only movie that I've ever seen him in was Planet of the Apes from 2001, and this is actually how I found out about this asshole's past. Because I'm a big fan of Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I'm a big fan of the original Planet of the Apes. And I was just looking through the history of Planet of the Apes, and, you know, I was looking at the 2001 movie. You know, just out of curiosity, I checked up on the main character, Mark Wahlberg. And just today, I found out about his terrible, awful, deplorable past. Now, I actually watched Planet of the Apes 2001 back in 2001, and this whole fucking time, I didn't know that this asshole did all this bad shit. Now, what did he do? Okay. Early in his life, he was a bigot and a racist. There was one time when he harassed a group of black school children on a field trip by throwing rocks and shouting racial epithets at them. He approached a middle-aged Vietnamese man on the street and beat him with a large wooden stick and rendered him unconscious. He then attacked another Vietnamese man and beat him nearly to death and rendered him blind in one eye. What the fuck? All the while shouting racial epithets at them. You know? He was a racist bigot. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison, but he served only 45 days. 45 days for beating two Vietnamese men with a fucking stick and made one blind in one eye for the rest of his life. Permanent. Somehow this asshole piece of shit created a career for himself. Now this asshole, this actor, he was actually a fucking rapper, a white rapper who went by the name Marky Mark. The most retarded, juvenile, idiotic, stupid name in the universe. And he was known for his rap videos where he like, the big single he had was Good Vibrations and shit like that. And he was a fucking tool. He was a fucking loser. He was a completely uneducated moron. And then somehow he got into acting and just like turned it all around for himself. What in the fuck happened? Why on earth did we ever reward someone who rendered a man blind in one eye? To make matters worse, even though he says he's sorry about his juvenile days, about his past and stuff like that, he never bothered to ever find the man that he made blind. He never bothered to try and find him, and never made reparations to him. This fucker, this Marky Mark piece of shit, lives in a goddamn mansion and is paid millions of dollars to act in movies. Let me tell you something. People are often surprised when I say that I do think that not only racism should be punished, but the death penalty should be instituted in certain cases of racism. And then some people wonder, what cases of racism would the death penalty be warranted? I do believe that this is one of them. What he did, I don't care how long ago it was, what he did can never be forgiven. He made a person blind in one eye for the rest of their life. They cannot see out of that fucking eye for the rest of their goddamn life because of Marky Mark. And you know what else disgusts me? I tried to look on YouTube to see if there were any videos about this piece of shit that expose this asshole for what he did in the past. Not one. Not a single video was saying how much of a scumbag he is, how much of a racist he was. I don't know if he's a racist still, it doesn't matter. Okay, what he did was unforgivable, and there's not one single video about that. This is the first one, as far as I know. That disgusts me. That disgusts me how someone can do something like that and then essentially get away with it. So how many other people, especially blacks, who have done far less crimes are now spending the rest of their lives in prison? How many people are like that? That pisses me off so much. Now, like I was saying, I do believe that this piece of shit needs to suffer for his crimes. Because of the fact that he rendered somebody blind and because it was a hate crime, he deserves to be put to death. Even now, I believe that. They should arrest him right now and then hang him by the neck until he's dead. Because what he did can never be forgiven. He needs to suffer. He needs to suffer, and we need to make an example out of fucks like him. So that everyone knows that hate crimes will never be tolerated. And this is what we do to scumbags, to racist bigots like him. We make them suffer and die like they deserve. Now, I have no idea. I have no idea how this guy ever climbed up the charts. But, guys, do me a favor. While we can't change the government, and we can't change the laws, and we can't make him suffer legally for what he did appropriately, how he deserves, we can't do that. What we can do is we can boycott his movies. Do not watch a single movie by this fucker. Like, it says something that I went through all this whole time without knowing. That he was a racist bigot and he made a guy blind. This whole time I didn't know that. Why is that? We need to expose this motherfucker, and we need to encourage other people to boycott this fucking bigot's movies. Never watch a single movie by him. I hope no 3DR fans watched that Max Payne movie, because he played Max Payne. Luckily, from what I understand, it was a shitty movie. And by the way, Planet of the Apes 2001 was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. He is a terrible actor, and now we know that he is a terrible human being who does not deserve to live. Shame these people. Shame on these people. They are scumbags, and they do not deserve to live. They are a waste of space. Take a stand against racism. This is Enigma Hood signing off.